Harry denies involvement in the scandal with the Saudi donor. In a rare statement issued by a representative of the Duke of Sussex in response to a report by the Sunday Times, shedding light on Prince Harry's role in the dealings with the billionaire Mahfouz Murray Mubarak bin Mahfouz. Mahfouz Murray Mubarak bin Mahfouz. He's got Mahfouz in his name twice. Mahfouz must mean something. According to the report, Harry agreed to meet Mahfouz in 2013 following a £50,000 donation to his charity. Apparently, this guy made 3 separate donations to Harry's charities: 50,000, 10,000, and another 10,000. 3 separate times. They met at a pub in Chelsea. So Harry met this guy in a pub, and he discussed the Duke's charity named Centabale, and then they met again at the royal residence at Clarence House, which is Charles's house, and then the report alleged that this series of meetings paved the way for Mahfouz to get access to Harry's father, Prince Charles. You think? That's exactly what's going on here. Okay, this Saudi prince, he's got to meet with the spare, who's never going to be king, and that's Harry. And so if there's a scandal, it can all pop up and crop up around Harry, but he's never going to be king. Okay, and as long as he jumps through the hoops, meeting Harry and says all the right things, then Harry will get him into Prince Charles. This is how it works, man. Okay, and now Harry is denying everything, and and saying that he doesn't know anything about it. I think that's really weird. I think this is how it works, and let's take a look and see how clean Harry's hands are, because honestly, the man is acting like Meghan Markle, and he happens to be married to Meghan Markle.
Good day, YouTubers. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Joseph Magi, author of Playing Card Divination, Fortune Telling, the Magi Method. You can find the book worldwide on Amazon and Kindle and paperback versions. Find the full color card deck used here on Etsy/Magi Method. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. So, Harry is just putting all of this cash for honors. And Mahfouz, this guy Mahfouz, he also wanted British citizenship. Okay, and you can go to several countries and just purchase citizenship. Basically, you buy some land or property, and you put some money in the bank, and they'll give you a passport, that's good for travel to various countries. So you can have a second passport, a third passport, and the British passport is gold because you can go anywhere. The best passport in the world is the U.S. passport. You can go basically it's the least restricted passport in the world. And so these are the passports that people want. This is the gold standard of passports. And so, of course, when you're traveling, and I've traveled extensively, people want to steal your passport because it can be resold and doctored and changed, and you put someone else's picture in it with your name, and it's got the chip on it and everything, and they'll get through. They'll often get through. So, were the royals intentionally giving away royal honors for cash? Because this is very common. This happened a lot. In the Catholic Church, it was called indulgences. They were selling for large amounts of money. They were guaranteeing people that they would go to heaven. My father actually played that game. He was giving the Polish Catholic Church money to ensure that he would go to heaven. Okay, I was a buyer for the federal government, and they love to be really nice to buyers. Purchasing agents, buyers, they'll give you gifts, and there's all kinds of laws to prevent that. Why? Because I'm the guy who buys all the stuff. I did that for 5 years. That was a lot of fun. But people want to bribe you all the time. It's just common. So were the royals intentionally giving away royal honors for cash? Because I think they were. Let's see what the card says. The cards say. Devil. And that's in actions. That's interesting. And secrets. King of Spades. Were they playing dirty pool? Were they giving away indulgences? Basically, were they giving away royal titles and honors and citizenship for money? Executioner, this is very powerful. They have the power to grant this. Devil, they'll do anything. Just think of the dirtiest things you can think of. Think of Epstein and all the terrible things he was doing. And they do it all in secret. As long as no one finds out about it, sure, and here's money. And this position number 7 most closely relates to position 1. So on an ongoing basis, Magi manifesting, transforming the situation on an ongoing basis. So yeah, you give us enough money and we'll make things happen for you. That they're manifesting for these people. 21, 26, 7 diamonds. They will use their influence to change the situation for the donor. Yeah, on an ongoing basis they did this. Crossroads at the decision. This can say they went out to the crossroads actively seeking out these big money donors. They would have relationships with them. Okay, how is this different than, a foreigner coming into the country and marrying a U.S. citizen, for instance, or a U.K. citizen? Well, this is common. My father did this. My father's a Polish national, and he married my mother, and that's how he got citizenship. Okay, and you say, oh, well, it's a relationship, and okay. I mean, it's true. There is a relationship, and they stayed married for 25 years. Strength, rooting, relationship. So to get them, so I think this is about the citizenship. He wants to be a citizen. He wants that precious piece of paper, that passport. For money, they'll do anything. Direct action. Man, honest man, everything has to look above board. King of Hearts is an honest man. Everything has to be on the up and up, so they keep all the dirty dealings secret. So, yeah, they did do this. They absolutely did this. They are selling cash for honors, and they're doing it on an ongoing basis. So, as for me, all the cards that I'm looking for are here. Okay, we have the devil, we have money. This cornucopia card, I actually considered it just calling it money. Okay, because it represents all material things that money can buy. But cornucopia, I feel it's a much slightly broader. So it's interesting how clean this looks. Clean, clean, clean. And then the devil and the secrets and the king of spades, they're all hiding. Okay, everything kind of looks on the up and up. But they're definitely, they were definitely doing this. They're getting the big money cards, they're getting the big money, and they're selling indulgences, basically like the Catholic Church did. They were selling indulgences. Okay, so let's look at Harry and Charles. Obviously, the way that this works, okay, and Lady Colin Campbell said this, she made the same point, and I agree, absolutely. Is that, you just kind of work your way up the food chain, and Harry's a prince, and he's fairly high on the food chain. He's not nobody, he's a prince, but he's the spare heir. Okay, so you work your way up through Harry, that's the least risky. Another good option would be to work your way up through Andrew, okay, and he brought Jimmy Savile into the palace. I mean, you just work your way up through the lesser royals and you make your connections that way. And that's just how it works. So let's look at were Harry and Charles working together in this cash for royal honors thing? Because Captain Obvious here, that would be me. I think the answer is yes, but let's just see the relationship. Because Harry's denying everything. Charles is denying everything. Oh, we're doing an investigation, says Charles. Well, you better. So let's look. Harry. Charles. Okay, what do we have here working together with this? Okay, Charles' side is looking surprisingly clean. Harry, he's got the fox, and he's got the woman. The woman is a good woman, clean hands, everything is cool and groovy. Let's see, 24 and 7, 31, 8 clubs in the eyes of the world. So he's acting very cleverly to push away the dirt from him. He doesn't want any sully. He doesn't want his reputation sullied, and reputation is everything. If they ruin your reputation, you're ruined, and you won't be able to do anything. And Harry's an influencer now. That's all he is. They were influencers as the royals, but that's all he is an influencer. Charles, we have home, we have lovers, the close relationship, and man. Man is an honest man, very honest. There's no taint on his side. 6 and 13, 19, 5 clubs, more than one way. They've planned very carefully so that Charles can't be blamed because Charles is the future king. Whereas the only person who can get nailed for this is Harry. And so Harry's saying, it's not me, man, it's Charles. He's the only way he can kind of avoid this is to directly make an allegation against like Charles. And that's a very bad idea. Very, very bad idea. You're much better off making an allegation against the Saudi prince. What's the Saudi prince going to do to you? What's Charles going to do to you? He's going to cut you off. He's going to take away your titles. You're an idiot. 3 blackbirds and ruler, talking about the ruler, 16 4 spades, and their secrets. So I think Harry is just trying to get the dirt off himself, and it's not working. Charles is looking really clean over here. I can put him up to this denial business. I mean, because there's several ways to do it. He doesn't have to blame Charles. Okay, he can just say, no, didn't happen, didn't do it. And the prince, the Saudi prince, is not going to agree to say, oh, yeah, it was all just dirty pool. I was just working the backhanded dealings. He could get banned from England. He could get banned from the Western countries. All kinds of terrible things could happen. So it's a sealed, the deal is sealed. I mean, nobody's going to talk. And none of Mahfouz's people are going to talk. None of Harry's people are going to talk. None of the royal aides are going to talk. And I think they're all under very strict confidentiality agreements. And if they violate those, they're never going to work with the royals again. Their career is over. They better go work at the Starbucks. Okay, so did Meghan put Harry up to this? Because this is the worst way to handle it. This looks like a Meghan decision. This looks like something that Meghan would do. Meghan has to be perfect all the time, but this is not how you handle it. You just deny it. I had nothing to do with it. I don't know what you're talking about. My name is Harry. And it's just that you don't blame anybody. You especially don't blame anybody in the royal family. You just deny it and keep your mouth shut. Okay, do a Bill Clinton. I did not have sex with that woman. Well, how do you define sex, Mr. Clinton? Because obviously he did, and he was impeached for it. So you just deny it and keep your mouth shut. And look at Andrew. He started yakking. He started talking and created himself all kinds of problems. He was all good. All he had to do is just keep his mouth shut. And I'm not making any comment on whether or not he did it, whether or not his acts were reprehensible. I'm just saying, strategically, he needed to just shut his mouth. That's all I'm saying. So did Meghan put Harry up to this, blaming Charles? Let's look at Harry and Meghan, because I think she did. Harry, Meghan. Because again, this just looks like a case of terrible execution. And what I see over and over is that Meghan is terrible at executing. She wears very expensive clothing and goes to the right places, and it just comes off really bad. The clothing doesn't look good. Relating to the people doesn't look good. The situations that should be a home run don't work out because Meghan doesn't listen to anybody. And I think she's influencing Harry. What do we have over here? We have Fox very cleverly moving the pieces around in the situation. Olive tree and coffin. In her relationship, secretly 1022 for all the people. So Meghan is back here influencing everything Harry does. And that's the problem. Harry was good just being Harry and letting the royal advisors tell Harry what to do, and he would do it. But having Meghan tell him what to do is a disaster. Just like Meghan not listening to anybody and doing what she thinks is right is a disaster. So it's a disaster and she's definitely influencing back there. Strength, the rooted relationship, messages, planting the seeds in his ear, one after another. She's kind of subtle about it. 11, 12, 13, 4 hearts, because of the relationship, the family relationship. She's subtle about it. She's not like hammering him like all the time, but she just keeps bringing stuff up until he does what she wants him to do. Scourge and fence sitter, reacting and constantly harping and reacting. 2 spades. Yeah. So Meghan is the one influencing this. She's the one behind this. Let's ask one more question, and I think the cards have already said that they do this on an ongoing basis, but let's see. Charles is opening his own investigation. Oh, I didn't know anything about it. Did he know anything about it? Let's just see what the cards want to say, because he should probably be guilty here. Because he's showing up, his hands are clean. He can't be blamed. Well, not being able to be blamed, that just means you can't prove anything. That doesn't mean you're not guilty. Does Charles is opening his own investigation. How much did he know about this cash for honors business? 5 clubs, 5 spades, 10 hearts. Dirty. What do we see here? Okay, very emotional. He's very upset at Harry. Interesting. 20. This adds 20. 5 spades. 5 spades, 5 spades, and 5 clubs. Decisions about the blockages. He's just feeling very emotional about it. He's really upset that Harry accused him. And here's another 5. 5 hearts, reacting to impose something on the bad relationship and handling the family over time. He's really pissed. 27, 32, 8 spades. He is thinking to kick Harry out of the family. This is just one thing after another. It's interesting how this reads. I asked how much does Charles know, and what the cards want to tell us is that Charles is really upset at Harry and thinking of kicking him out of the royal family. He's so upset that he's getting accused again that he's really just... this is the straw that broke the camel's back. I think this just came out of nowhere for him, and he just wasn't expecting it. And there's just so many ways to handle this, so many proper ways to handle this without blaming Charles, without blaming Mahfouz. You just simply deny it. Or you say nothing, okay? Just say nothing. You don't have to blame Charles. And if you do say something, say as little as possible, just a flat denial, and then shut your mouth and go away and talk about other things. You see the U.S. president doing this all the time. You see his spokesperson doing this all the time. They ask very pointed questions about, whatever's going on, like the border. Why is the border wide open? And then they talk about healthcare, or they talk about China, or they talk about some random thing that has, they just start talking and they just keep talking, and it has nothing to do with what you asked them. Or they simply give a very curt answer and they say, we're not going to talk about that today. And they do this every time they go on television. They do this. Okay, Harry knows how to do this. It's not that complicated. Okay, so what do we have here? What did the cards discover for us? Okay, were they intentionally giving away royal honors for cash? Absolutely, and they were doing it on an ongoing basis. Okay, this is how things are done. These are indulgences. It's very common. Where there's a lot of money, there's dirty dealings. And where there's politics, there's a lot of money in politics, so there's always dirty dealings in politics. Then I looked at Harry and Charles. Harry is the only one that looks like he can be nailed for having dirty hands, because they set it up so perfectly that Charles just simply, you can't prove anything about Charles. You can only prove things about Harry, and they did this on purpose. They're very clever. Did Meghan put him up to this? Because this is another example of horrible execution. What's the worst possible way to do it? Let's just blame Charles. Okay, that's what they did. It's a terrible execution. So Meghan is definitely talking in Harry's ear and manipulating him in everything all the time. Okay, and Charles swears he knows nothing about it. He's going to open an investigation. And most interestingly here, we just have Charles is really, really, really upset at Harry. He's had enough. You're going to stop attacking me, boy. I'm going to take care of this, even to the point of throwing you out of the royal family. He's really angry now, and he's really tired of this, and he's gonna do something about it. That's what these cards are saying. Now maybe he'll calm down, but the cards are like, Charles really has had enough of being attacked by Harry and Meghan. He's really had enough. That's how I see it. I'm Joseph Magi, author of Playing Card Divination, Fortune Telling, the Magi Method. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment.